It is 0 hour 30, Universal Time. I'm Jim Tedder in Washington. Israel says it will end its air and sea blockade of Lebanon on Thursday. The office of Israel's Prime Minister says international forces will take command of Lebanese seaports and airports by late Thursday night. The statement also said American Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice and United Nations Secretary-General Kofi Annan told Israel that international forces are ready to take command. Italian, French, British, and Greek troops will be part of the operation. German forces are expected to arrive in 2 weeks. Israel had said it would end the blockade only after Lebanese soldiers and international forces were deployed. Israeli airstrikes have killed 5 Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. Palestinian medical workers say about 20 other people were wounded in the attacks. The Israeli military says the first airstrike was against a terrorist group of Hamas supporters. It said the second airstrike was against persons involved in planning terrorist attacks. Israel launched an offensive in Gaza in late June after an Israeli soldier was kidnapped. Since then, more than 200 Palestinians have been killed. President Bush has confirmed the existence of secret prisons operated by America's Central Intelligence Agency. The president says 14 terrorism suspects kept in the prisons have been moved to the military prison at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. He also said the 14 suspects will be tried. Mr. Bush defended the secret prisons. He said they existed to hold and permit the questioning of dangerous terrorists. The prisoners will now be given protection under the international agreements known as the Geneva Conventions. They require that prisoners of war be treated humanely. The British Defense Ministry says a landmine explosion in southern Afghanistan killed 1 British soldier and wounded 6 others Wednesday. Hours later, a second British soldier was killed in a separate incident in the same area. The Defense Ministry said a third soldier died of injuries suffered in an attack last Friday. In other news, Afghan officials say suspected Taliban militants killed 2 Muslim clergymen in Helmand province. The clergymen were said to be supporters of Afghanistan's central government. World powers plan to meet in Berlin Thursday to discuss their next move to restrict Iran's nuclear program. Diplomats from the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council and Germany will attend the meeting. The United States says it expects the other Security Council members, France, Britain, China, and Russia, to honor their decision to punish Iran. The Security Council ordered Iran to stop processing uranium by August 31st, or face possible restrictions. However, Russia and China are not sure if they will punish Iran. Also Thursday, Iran's top nuclear negotiator is expected to meet with a top European Union official in Madrid, Spain. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English. Officials in Yemen say explosions at a weapons storage center in the port city of Aden have killed 2 women. Yemeni media say high temperatures may have caused the explosions. The 2 women were killed while riding a bus near the area. The Jalal Hadid Weapons Center stores old military arms. In Britain, a top Defense Ministry official and 6 other members of Prime Minister Tony Blair's government have resigned. The officials are protesting Mr. Blair's refusal to set a date for his resignation as Labour Party leader. On Tuesday, 17 members of the Labour Party signed a letter demanding that Mr. Blair resign. A spokesman says Mr. Blair will make no more comments on when he plans to resign as party leader. Mr. Blair announced last year that he would not seek a 4th term as Britain's Prime Minister in 2010. The International Monetary Fund says Asian countries must change their economies from farming to industry and services. The IMF said this is necessary if Asia is to continue its economic success. The statements are part of the World Economic Outlook report. The IMF releases the report 2 times a year. The report says the Asian economy has improved, but it says Asia still has much lower income levels than the richest nations. The IMF says increasing industry and services would help reduce the number of poor in the undeveloped areas and improve economic growth in Asia. The World Health Organization says it is concerned about a new form of tuberculosis that resists drug treatment. Health experts plan to discuss the disease on Thursday and Friday in Johannesburg, South Africa. They will discuss how to prevent this deadly disease from spreading. The new form of tuberculosis is called XDR-TB. Health officials say it recently killed 52 out of 53 people in the South African province of KwaZulu-Natal. Health officials warn that this form of TB is even more deadly for people infected with HIV/AIDS. The officials say it could greatly increase death rates in Africa. The United States Space Agency has postponed the launch of the Space Shuttle Atlantis until Friday. NASA had planned to launch Atlantis on Wednesday, but officials say they need to repair a device that produces electricity during flight. Atlantis was to have been launched last month, but bad weather caused several postponements. NASA says failure to launch this week could delay the program until October. And now briefly, here again is the major news of the hour. Israel says it will end its air and sea blockade of Lebanon Thursday. President Bush has confirmed the existence of secret prisons operated by the United States Central Intelligence Agency. And UN Security Council members and Germany plan to meet in Berlin on Thursday to discuss Iran's nuclear program. That's the news in Special English. Jim Tedder reporting.